Hello there, my fellow Virginia voters. My name is Hugh, and I want to be your advocate in filling out your absentee ballot form. You'd be surprised. Everyone thinks it's an easy task, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of your fellow Virginians who make mistakes and don't send the proper mailer back. It's almost no different than when you go to vote in person. You will provide ID. They will ask you your name, your address, and your social security, the last four of your social security number. So before we go any further, I want you to go find two documents for me. Either your driver's license or a state ID, and definitely your social security card. I'll wait. Now that you have your required documents, here's my driver's license. The most important date on here is my birth date. On the form that you're going to be filling out, it asks for your birth year, not your birthday, the year you were born. And why your driver's license is extremely important is because for you to get a driver's license, you either have to provide your social security card, it could be your military ID, your passport, something else that identifies you. And that is what is in the system that the Virginia database is based off of. They get the record from DMV where a lot of people register to vote. And that's the only date that's in there. There are many of you. It's not always, you would think it would be with folks that are older, but there are folks born in 2005, 2007 that don't know the year that they were born. So that last four, like I was born in 1964, and I remember that. But a lot of folks, they'll miss a year or a few years from when they were actually born, and that is important for you to have, so we can verify who you are. Other document you must have is your social security number. The last four of your social security number identifies you specifically along with your name and your address in the Veris database. That's the only way we can say for sure who you are. I mean, nothing's 100%, but it gives us a better idea of who you are. More than half of the errors that are received are for social security numbers that are wrong or they're missing. You know, usually a lot of people transpose the numbers, and some actually just give us a whole different set of numbers. And I've seen the last four of someone's telephone number. So get the card, look at it, before you fill out the paperwork. We're gonna go ahead and open up a sample mailer, and a big shout out to the guys at Fairfax County that provided me with some materials, and I've kind of made up some of my own. Everything I'm saying is, kind of through experience and then reading the law. But I've been working in the voting area for the last 5 years. So I hope this will be a benefit to you. So since early voting starts tomorrow on the 19th of September, we'll have 45 days until the election to get this done. So here's a sample mailer that came in. Let's open it up and see what's inside. It should be addressed to you. So we'll open it up. Let's pull out a few things. Let's see. All right, we'll set that aside. We have, instructions to be sure your ballot is counted, and there's also required information, all right, to confirm your identity so your ballot can be counted. And here's a good example right here. We'll put that right here. You're going to have your ballot, which we'll pull out a little bit later. And this is going to be your mailer you're going to mail back. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the exact thing you're going to get. Each county is going to be different in the state of Virginia. This will be more specific to Fairfax County. And most of them, you're going to have your address, your name and address is going to be on here already. So if you want to look at the example right here, and look at the name right here, half your work is already done for you. So let's talk about what's in a name. Your first name and last name are required to be submitted. If your middle name, you can put an initial, or you can fill the whole thing out. A suffix, that's junior, senior, first, second, third, fourth, if that's in your family lineage. It's not Esquire, it's not MD, it's not anything else, because while we're proud of your accomplishments, for voting, you're just a voter. So let's go ahead and fill it out, because it's already going to come in. So my first name for this will be Benjamin, Benjamin, Benjamin. I'm just going to do P, and then last name is Franklin. And I am the third, and my grandfather, my dad, and now me. Okay, the next spot is your legal residence address in Virginia. Now, this is where you register to vote. If you notice, that's how it came to you. This is the address that's in the voting system, in the database, that all the registrars in Virginia access to verify who you are. So if you moved and didn't update your DMV records or your voter registration records, don't put down another address. If you're what they call a protected voter, like you have a mailing address, the mailing address is where it's going to be sent. But your legal residential address where you registered to vote is actually what is listed on this document. So if you have time to go in and change it, but you need to let your registrar's office or your office of elections know that your address has changed. But at worst case, put down the same address that is listed on the mailer that you get. So I'm going to put down 123 County Lane. Let's see, apartment 45C. And it could be any town in Virginia. Any town. And then you put the zip 22193 and 6842. You don't have to. And next important thing for you to do is sign it. Never send your mailer in without it being signed. So B. Frank. And that's going to be my signature. Now, let's get over here to your birth year. So this is a voter's birth year. So remember, I told you to get your driver's license. All right, look at your driver's license. You'll have an issue date, an expiration date, and a birth date. But this says birth year. So according to this driver's license, I was born in 1975. Whatever you do, do not leave these blank. I know it's PII, but without having your personal information to validate who you are, your ballot will not be processed and you will end up getting a rejection letter from me or from folks that do curing. And that is about letting you know what is wrong with your mailer. Now, why I say get your Social Security card, again, I talked about folks can't remember their last four. They think they know them, but just to be safe, go ahead and get it. So my Social Security card is going to be 5274. That's pretty simple. If you have your card, this should be perfect. And then you can put the date, whatever you're going to mail it in. So let's see, 9/18/25. That's how simple it is to fill out, but you would be surprised how many hundreds of folks cannot do this properly. Okay, now that we have that filled out, I'll put our instructions over to the side. I mean, the instructions has a lot of things, how you can track your ballot through the mail, and then how you can check your ballot status to see if it's been checked in. And follow those instructions that you get. So make sure you read them and just don't put them to the side. So now that my mailer is filled out properly, I want to look at my ballot. You know, one of the things I think is very important about mail-in ballots is it gives you the opportunity to actually do some research on the candidates, or if there's any, amendments or any local things, because every precinct, every county is going to have something different going on. Only in the big elections, I created my own beautiful sample ballot here. So, like this year, we're going to have the governor's race. So, make sure you use a pen in blue or black ink. Do not use a pencil, please. So, for governor, you'll fill in which candidate you want. Fill in the circle. Or if you have a write-in candidate, you put it there, and those will also be tabulated. So, lieutenant governor, same thing for attorney general. If there are any bonds issues in your county, you can vote yes or no. I believe some counties have delegates that are up for election in the Virginia House. So, you choose your candidate. Any school projects that they need approval for, transportation things, and your county supervisors, or a whole host of other issues or other offices that are up for election. One of the things I want to let you know, even when you vote in person, after you fill out your ballot, it still goes into a scanner. So whether you're sending this through the mail or you're voting in person, it still gets scanned. And these lines that are on the ballot you're going to receive helps the scanning machine to take an image and tabulate the votes according to whatever's going on in your county. Now, once you fill out your ballot, you fold it, and then you place it in the envelope. And in Fairfax County, what happens is you have a covering that guards your personal information, so that's not seen. And other counties have adopted this, but I can't speak for all counties in Virginia, but you'll have something like this. So everything's filled out properly. Go ahead and close the ballot, and you'll end up sending this back in the mail or dropping it off at a drop box at one of your local precincts, and that should be listed in the instructions that you get with your mailer. So you can drop this in the post office. And the one thing I'm going to say is do not wait until the last minute to do this. Because one of the problems is if you don't complete your mailer properly, we won't have time to send you a response and you turn around and get your ballot back in. Now, one of the things I want to show you, like what happens in Fairfax County, is once these come in, you may have a barcode up here with your voter number and things, and that's for the office to be able to find you easily in the system. But when they go to check it in, they're going to pull these tabs off of every single mailer that comes in. Oops. And now they can see your information and validate it against the database. So that's why it's important. Don't leave it blank. You know, you figure because it's here, you're good to go. This is something that you are required to do and you have the responsibility to do. So fill it out completely and properly, and your vote will be counted come election day. I would give yourself at least 2 weeks prior to the election at the last point, to send in your ballot or drop it into one of the drop boxes. So we have time to reach back out to you in case there is a problem that needs to be resolved. I know I didn't cover every situation that can come up in voting, but this is just the baseline to help you fill out your mailer properly and get it back so we can count your vote. Because every vote counts, no matter the party. Everyone should take the responsibility to vote and do it to the best of their ability. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, you can ask on this video, but I would encourage you to call your voting office or go online and check the frequently asked questions, from your county's website. And we'll see you on November 4th.